Hi, I'm Ron Mann from Dignitary Protection Security Group. We're going to follow up here today with our previous guest, Mark Blackwell. Our website is www.dpsgus.com. And I'd like to introduce our guest, Mark Blackwell, who we spoke with previously from Justice Ministries.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Ron. Mark Blackwell with Justice Ministries. We're a counter-human trafficking agency based here in the Carolinas. Basically, we do outreach to at-risk populations, provide emergency services, and transitional care for those that have been caught up in sex trafficking and sexual exploitation. I appreciated the last episode. We discussed the risk of runaway teens, and looking forward to kind of expanding on that subject to hopefully provide some prevention opportunities for those at home.
Mark, can you discuss in your experience, what triggering mechanisms cause teens to run away?
Yeah, that's a great question. Obviously, getting to the root of why did this happen maybe can help us in the long run slow this down. It's a range of issues. It can be, maybe it was a really bad home life or non-existent. So many of the cases we're dealing with were coming out of, homeless youth or out of the foster care system, things like that. So bad home life is definitely a vulnerability that can easily be exploited, where the kid can easily be coerced, or they just get fed up and they go. Unfortunately, even in the more privileged situation, or if you're very well off, boredom can be a concern. You have access to the internet and all these exciting things, and you're bored with your chores and being cramped. So you get into something you don't need to, and that really backfires. Because this kid has no idea what they're walking into. And then it can be sometimes the more tame situation where simply a kid maybe just had more responsibility on them as a child than they really needed, and it's less of a runaway situation. It's maybe someone they connected with, and the parents weren't being involved with who they were in communication with, who were they talking with online, who were their friends at the high school, and that can actually be a big indicator. It's not so much, hey, I'm fleeing a bad home life. It's more so someone invited me into a situation that was comparable to running away, and I went with them versus more so than leaving home.
Well, what kind of preventive measures can parents take to try to head this off at the pass?
So obviously, we live in an interesting time, with the development of the smartphone and all our internet access. So for those at home, I would definitely encourage you to understand your devices. It can be a really positive thing, information at our fingertips and all this, but it can be a really negative thing where teenagers and young people can get access and, as I mentioned, engage people online that otherwise they wouldn't be connecting with, or you could even have oversight of that engagement. So use your technology to your advantage. Use it to put trackers on your phones and even software on the phone to monitor some of the hot button issues that could be going on. And then, like, for example, if someone does run away or is out past curfew, you can use that technology to your advantage. And then minimize the freedom of technology at certain ages. You need to grow with your kid in what they have access to. So that's one prevention effort, knowing your device and using it as a tool to monitor, but also not just giving free landscape to be exposed to all that the internet has to offer.
Right. Well, I want to thank Mark Blackwell of Justice Ministries for sitting with us today at Dignitary Protection Security Group. We specialize in recovering teen runaways, and we can certainly assist in more serious kidnapping type events. We have a little bit more latitude than police do in these kind of instances, and we can build trust with the kids through that. But Mark, I want to thank you for being here today and helping out. Your work is truly inspiring, and it's very important.
And again, if I could interject,
sure.
just one final thought for our audience. So a trend I've seen even in parenting style, you tend to kind of go in extremes. I've seen the helicopter parent that's just they're in everything and they're using the monitoring tools to the extreme, and the kid can't breathe.
Right.
And then what's going to happen is that first window of opportunity they're going to bolt. And then you have the other where it's like, hey, I'm just your friend, and I'm chill. You do what you want, and you're so uninvolved with your kids' activity.
Right.
That you're setting them up to be led and influenced by other people. We really got to find that balance. You need to be insistently involved with your kids' life. If they're under your roof on your cell phone bill, eating your food, you have a reasonable right to have some say over what's happening. At the same time, don't be so overbearing that they're just looking for any opportunity to run. So it's that balance that is so critical and so helpful. And again, appreciate what you guys are doing, and I would even encourage that in y'all's efforts. I think in part of your investigation, that's good to figure out what is the family dynamic here.
Right.
And that can maybe get some indication on what the motivation was. Was it, I had to get out of here? Was it, I had a bad home life? Or was it, someone online coerced me to leave, or a friend at school influenced me to get out of here? Because that will definitely direct the trajectory of where this case is going.